And we should be in. Theoretically.
Okay.
Let's see.
Alright. It is capturing us, so theoretically we can be heard.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. But there's no one here yet, so we can just wait.
Okay.
But yeah, we had the one bot, Blah, who was doing the worst.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
just being terrible.
Let
Hey,
me get my
Brandon.
water 1 second.
And
I
then
hated that.
and then we had Barbara, who was like sacrificing her life. She was laying down her neck to help you out. It was the funniest thing. I could not
Completely
handle it.
unexpected move from Barbara of all people.
I know, right? You would expect a bit. Maybe it's just a name thing, you know. As long as you don't have the name Wade, Barbara's not gonna go after you.
True. Oh my
Ah,
god.
all right. I think we just have Brandon here right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can wait.
Yeah, me too.
Watch just no one shows up. I'm fine with that too, actually.
And no, it's just, I mean, I'd be fine just talking.
We can just talk, even if there's no one here. It just
Yeah.
means that we wouldn't have like questions. We'd have to come up with our own
Yeah.
questions.
Oh,
Brandon,
no.
you have to come up
Brandon,
with questions.
you have to come up with questions.
It's important. It's part of things.
Alright.
Hmm?
Are we still waiting?
I don't know if.
Well,
Mm,
I see 3 watching now.
we've got 3 watching
Probably
now. We
includes
got some
me.
people coming in.
I don't know if that
You
I don't
don't
know
know
if
if
you guys
that's
are
us
watching
or
the
if it's
stream
people.
or yeah.
I mean, I'm not watching it because I've got the actual statistics and in
Because
front of
I have
me.
the stream
So
up, and then I know
So,
Brandon is here.
wow.
it's
Oh,
just
1
that
watching now.
we got some
I
people
see.
here.
I see 1 watching now.
I say we just go into it. We're after 9,
Alright.
might as well. I'm not really going to bother with the opening spiel, though. We all know what this is.
Yeah.
We've done this a few times.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people here to listen to it anyways, so we don't need to introduce ourselves. They all know who we are. Chapter 100. Kathy, you were saying earlier, what was our predictions for this chapter?
Well, I was saying that we predicted anything but, basically. We predicted that, oh, maybe we'd go back to the house, but that was really on a low probability. But
Mhm.
we also predicted that we would maybe even see Sakura or see some of the other Seven Wonders because we haven't seen it for a while. So,
So basically, none of us were expecting to just continue with what we were doing here.
mhm.
Well, we tried to expect the unexpected, and then we just got the expected.
I don't remember. So much of the last podcast is just redacted from my memory. Like I was saying, I missed the fact that the podcast was, no, not the podcast, that the chapter had released when it did. Like the day it released, I got a message from one of our mods being like, hey, can you change the chapter title to 100 from 99? Because that's what we had up. And I'm like, what? It was today? It just over my head. I completely forgot. So that was fun.
Yep,
But yeah,
same actually.
like we'll just go into it.
Yeah.
Sure. Um, I guess I'll start the summary then.
Just keep going.
Yeah, so they were kind enough to do a recap of the last time, and we see, as you guys remember, Ko and Mitsuba were hiding, and Ko got a little broken heart here
Little
from
Yeah,
broken heart.
can I
yeah,
just
because he
say
realized,
Mm,
a recap of last time? I cried.
I know. It's so funny.
Yeah, I laughed so hard.
You can tell
Mhm.
it like right away sets a tone with he's embarrassed, he's frustrated that he did that. He wasn't trying to cry.
Yeah.
He hates that he was crying. I get it. I get it. When I get mad, I cry too, and it's annoying because,
Mhm.
like, they're just feeling bad for you instead of acknowledging that you're mad. So-
Yep.
But yes, Ko is. I think he's come to the realization that he cares about Mitsuba more than he thought he does,
Mhm.
and he's wondering why. If he wanted to become human, so why is he giving up now? And Mitsuba is just being very sneaky, very cheeky, and laugh. He's still laughing. Like you see your friend. I don't know if you guys ever had that moment where your friend is crying and you guys are laughing at them.
You
That's
know,
exactly what is going on here.
I can't say that's ever actually happened in my life.
Same. It is so, but it
Yeah.
seems so cruel.
I've never laughed at a friend while they're crying. But it is a
It's
very
cruel.
Mitsuba thing to do. I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I'm not surprised that he started chuckling.
Mitsuba's wondering. Mitsuba's saying, "Oh, I didn't realize you were such a lonely person." Like, oh, he's just being such a baby.
You
This
can
is
tell by Ko's
adorable.
face too that like he's not even surprised that Mitsuba started laughing. He's just a little
Hmm.
annoyed.
Yeah.
He's like, of course.
And Mitsuba comes out and says that he knew that he made the right choice choosing to seek Ko at the end of his life.
Mhm.
Because it would be more efficient for him to just go up to her on a supernatural and they just want to avoid. But he, I guess he thought that Ko would really be sorry to see him go, but at the same time he's wondering if Ko would be sorry to see anybody go. So
That's
maybe
interesting.
Mitsuba
I
isn't that
like the way he said that, the same way you would for anybody. It's like,
Mhm.
well, for one, it's a gut punch to the shippers. I'm sorry, Mitsuko shippers. That was some serious friend zoning going on there. Ouch. Um, but he's also just acknowledging that Ko is kind, like that this is something he would do for anyone, which is likely actually Ko is that kind of character. He would do that
Mhm.
for pretty much
Mhm.
anyone. And, he sees that about him. He knows that he's a really kind person and he's acknowledging it. Uh, Okay.
Yep. So Ko Post comes out and he says, "So you really want me to exercise you that much, you damn masochist?" This is the drunk bath
Uh,
salt translation. I don't know if it says masochist in other translations, but
I hope
that's
it
what it says
does.
here.
'Cause
I'm looking it up right now.
I think even in the original rough translation, it said masochist. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know if there's an exact word for that in Japanese, but if there is an exact word for that, that is what they used because the translations are all like
Ah, yes.
unanimous. They're like, that is what that word
In
is.
in Ropes of Fate, he says mega masochist.
Oh, even extra
Even
masochistic.
worse.
Yeah.
So Mitsuba questions if he even knows what that means.
That's a
He,
hilarious implication. He's like, I don't think you understand the BDSM implications of that word.
hmm.
Yeah.
But he says, "You know what? Fine. I will do it. I will exercise you if you beat me at this game." So yeah, they do this whole competition thing,
Okay, what I love
like
what
earlier.
I love is that they planted the seed here that he's being a masochist with his request. And then they come back around later on to him being like, I wouldn't want anyone else to do it except for Ko.
That's great.
I feel like that was intentional. I'm just gonna say.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
intentional.
honestly, this chapter has a lot of ship beating, but
It does.
Really, yeah.
moving on from that. So they start this competition, and they have a whole tiebreaker thing going on. I'm glad he acknowledges that, maybe Ko isn't at 100% right now, so he's willing to come to a compromise.
Hmm.
But basically, the competition is defeating a whole bunch of the gross, using Mitsuba's words, the gross fish-like supernaturals here.
A gross man eating
Um,
fish.
yeah, gross man-eating fish supernaturals. So whoever defeats the most wins. And apparently, uh, Mitsuba, I didn't know that Mitsuba would have this much strength in him still, but apparently he does.
I
So
love the
he,
ways Ko's just like ready to give him a handicap because he knows that like Mitsuba was falling apart like 5 minutes ago,
yeah,
literally
it's
physically
cute.
falling apart. And then
Yeah,
he's like, "You think I need help?" Like a little girl boss.
absolutely.
So Mitsuba actually switches it around and he's like, I don't need an advantage against a noob Aryan like you.
It keeps coming back to
New
the
earring.
earring.
It's always about the earring.
It is always about
Hmm.
the earring. I think he likes the earring. I think
Absolutely.
he finds it
Yeah.
endearing. That earring.
Hmm.
Traffic safety. Really is cringe, but whatever.
Oh,
So they have this whole little fun. They're, essentially, they're having fun here. They're going around, they're flying around, they're defeating the fish, gross man-eating fish monsters, and Mitsuba steals his kill. They're having fun, basically. But at the end of it all,
Oh my gosh, no, before we get to the end of it,
oh wait,
what this reminded me specifically of was I don't know. This is probably still is not a dated reference to pop culture. Lord of the Rings. Gimli and Legolas specifically did this like throughout all the movies. Whenever they were killing things, they had a competition and there was a kill count. And I found that to be like the most endearing part of the Lord of the Rings fight scenes was just the two of them having their little contest back and forth. And when I saw this, I was like, this is what that feels like specifically. I know it's not an anime reference.
yeah, no, yeah. I
hmm,
do. I've never
but in
consumed
the
any
middle
Lord of
of
the
it
Rings
all,
content, so
Ko manages to shock Mitsuba or zap him or nearly exercise him. Um, but it doesn't really matter because Ko kill count ends up being at 15 or 100 according to his words, and Mitsuba's kill count is actually 20. So Mitsuba wins, but then there's this whole, what do you call this thing? A manatee? What's this thing called? Stingray? It's
It's
a
a
stingray.
stingray, or
Yes,
yeah.
it's a
stingray.
yeah, it's a stingray or a manta ray.
It's a demon
A
stingray.
manatee's like a fat, like seal-like thing.
Yeah, we
It's
have a
Ah,
lot
weird.
of those in
Manatees are
Florida.
weird.
They're
oh,
cool, they're
okay.
cute.
They're cute, but very weird.
They're
They're
cute in
cute
an
in the
ugly
way
way.
like pugs are cute.
Yeah, right?
But this demon stingray here, very ugly looking, um, comes out in the middle of the competition, and he manages to get a hand on. Mitsuba jumps to kill it, actually, and he manages to stab Mitsuba in the foot and kind of um, rattle him a bit.
I'm seeing
So,
I'm seeing things in this fight scene I hadn't actually seen before. I'm just noticing that Ko struck Mitsuba with lightning.
yeah, that was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were down to the heel scene. Um, here's where I saw imagery, right? Okay. So the the little penguin gets tossed out of his pocket, right? And he reaches
Mhm.
for it. It gets broken and he immediately gets shot in the heel. Like literally the imagery is saying that his little charm, which represents his connection with Ko, functioned as his Achilles heel and distracted him and he got shot through the heel. Literally.
Wow.
It is
Wait, what's
blatant. It's so
what's that
blatant.
heel again? What's that heel again?
What's the heel? What?
Yeah,
Achilles
what does
heel.
it represent?
Is the Achilles heel? You don't know the Achilles heel?
Uh, I mean, I've heard of it, but
It's like your one weakness kind of deal. Because in the Iliad, that's how Achilles supposedly died. He got shot in the heel. I don't know. Not all
hmm.
versions agree on that happening, but that's where the saying comes from.
Ah, okay.
It's ancient Greek classics.
Well, um, yeah, Cole manages. It handicaps Cole, but Cole manages to defeat it in a way. But then it comes back, and yeah, Cole with Mitsuba ends up in this sticky situation where he's about to get eaten by some other supernatural.
You know what
and
this
Ko
reminds
comes
me of?
first.
No,
Um,
it's the
Mhm.
same. It's the same one, right?
It's the same one.
Yes, same one.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, same
uh,
one. Because then
Mhm.
Ko defeats it and is like, "Ha! I actually got it."
yeah. This reminds me of oh, you remember back in the back in the Red House arc? That's where it happened. When Nene
Mhm.
got swallowed by the house. It's almost exactly how they framed the panel. It's
Oh
almost
yeah.
it's
Hmm.
almost identical. I remember because I stared at that panel for ages. But yeah, it's a good callback to that. Especially because whoa, now I'm just seeing the callback. It's a good callback because at the time Ko wasn't able to reach Nene. Like he lost her to the house because he wasn't able to react fast enough. Whereas here he
Mhm.
is able to react fast enough. He saves Mitsuba. Growth, guys.
Character growth.
Character
Still being
growth.
still being the MVP. I see.
He's always MVP. That's how Ko is.
Yes, that's his character.
Yes, his character arc is he is
Mhm.
now MVP.
And he turns back and he gives Mitsuba a little peace sign after he saves him. It's just so cute. He's like, "Oh yeah, I won and I saved their life."
I love how
Damsel in
Mitsuba
distress.
winces there. Like, what was
Yeah,
he expecting to?
I love the peace sign because he's like he's mirroring the peace sign that Mitsuba gave him earlier when he thought that he had defeated Supernatural and won.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
And he picks up, he starts carrying Mitsuba on his back, which is so cute.
it is really cute.
Hmm.
And so
Adorable.
that,
I love the way he's
so they
like, "Oh
made it out.
man," and I was so sure I was going to die too.
Right.
Mhm. And so they turn around and they realize that the whole building itself was a supernatural that wanted to gobble them up,
It was
actually.
pretty blatantly obvious that entire
Yes, it
place
was.
was a trap. It even had
Hmm.
So
that like little lure light thing that that one fish has. I don't know what that fish is called.
Anglerfish.
Anglerfish, yeah.
Anglerfish.
Had
Yeah.
the little anglerfish lure. It's so blatant. They were just too focused on each
yeah.
other. They were lost in each other's eyes and they didn't see it.
Ah, so
Love is
unfortunate.
blind, guys.
Really is blind.
Uh,
So
but
they
just a
end
little
up
callback
walking.
to before that. Mitsuba says you were never going to do it anyway, were you? He's just calling out that probably Ko was never going to actually exercise Mitsuba,
Oh
and
no.
I
Yeah.
think that's true. Like I don't think he was ever actually going to do it, but like a competition like that. The only way to get Mitsuba to really participate in that and accept the conclusion was for him to let him believe that he was going to do it. So
Hmm.
for once, Ko was the one manipulating the situation. Congratulations. I'm proud of
Good
you. I'm
job,
proud of you,
Co.
my boy.
So they end up walking on the street on the sidewalk, and it's night, and the lights are shining, and it's all romantic. Like, and all. I don't know. I would think this is romantic if I was in this situation, but whatever.
I don't know, the
Um,
adrenaline's rushing from just having almost died and you're still calming down a little bit. Your thoughts are a little
yeah.
frenzied and romantic things can happen real fast in these situations.
Hmm.
hmm
True.
And Ko asks Mitsuba if he still wants him to exercise him. So, and Mitsuba explains the reason why he's technically suicidal. He doesn't have a family here in the near shore, and it takes effort to stay here. He doesn't have friends either, and so he doesn't really have a reason to stay in the near shore. So Cole
The
thinks about it a little bit, and he says he'll give him a reason. How about the school festival?
Okay, the whole bit though where he's like, I don't even have friends. I'm like, you little piece of what do you call this?
Right? What?
Excuse me?
Seriously, Roman?
Back up. That's not
Ah,
okay.
he doesn't have friends. He has a boyfriend.
Okay, but like he also says, I don't have a family or a person I like.
Oh,
So no
oh
matter what,
no!
Ko gets lumped into that.
Wow.
Oh
No matter
no!
how you look at that relationship,
That's why
he is
Cole looks so
ignoring Ko.
disappointed.
Oh no.
He's also kind of ignoring Sakura and Natsu there
Yeah.
because I mean
Yeah.
they've acted like his friends. I don't know if they really see him as a friend. They're always very suspicious, but they've definitely like
I don't know. It
treated him decently.
Yeah, it definitely felt like they saw him as somewhat of a friend,
Or at least their
in that one chapter.
responsibility. Like, they were taking responsibility for him as, like,
Yeah,
the
I think that
Frankenstein
was
monster creation that he was.
genuine. I think that was genuine though, not like
Yeah, it did feel
yeah.
genuine.
Mm. Okay, but Cole at least gives him that something to look forward to, which I think is very important in life, actually. Um, so he tells him that the school festival will start and the preparations are already starting. So there'll be a lot of happy stuff on haunted houses and cafes and performances. Probably stuff that Mitsuba would like. And he manipulates Mitsuba into making a promise using that word that he used earlier. Um, yeah, that he'll hang out with Ko during the next school's festival.
Always
And
with the school festival, but let's be real. When you ask someone out on a school festival in anime, that is a date. It's never
That's
not a date.
absolutely a date, right?
mhm.
I
Like straight up.
I don't even
That's a
believe
date.
in the reality of school festivals. I talked about this before, but this doesn't happen in our part of the world. So, like, school festivals are 100% an anime thing, and going
Well,
around with
actually,
someone at a school festival is, like, very much a date.
I kind of had that
Mhm.
experience in high school, so
What
I
did your
can't say it's
school have that was like a
we
school
had I
festival?
forgot what it was called, but we had a thing where all the clubs set up stalls and it was kind of like a school festival in anime, like sold food and stuff, and yeah, it was fun.
Dang, my schools didn't get that. I was telling Kathy what we got was a winter carnival day where, like, for one day you'd just go outside, the teachers would kick you out of the building, and you'd do a bunch of
What?
snow related activities.
Well, that's huh. Yeah, it was really fun. It was so awesome. I That was like the one part of school that I
Ugh,
really liked.
the winter carnival was fun right up until they banned the use of snowballs because, I don't know, they were scared we were gonna pack ice crystals
Oh,
inside the snowballs and launch it at other people's
Jesus.
eyes or something. They were really scared that we were gonna knock someone's eye out with snowballs for some reason. I don't know if it happened or something. Someone
Maybe
had a
that would
traumatic
make sense.
experience.
Yeah.
Anyways, school
Yeah.
festival, TBHK.
Yes,
Mhm.
Mitsuko's school festival date is gonna happen.
Yes, right,
Yeah,
that's where we were at.
mhm. And yeah, basically Mitsuha goes on teasing him again, saying, "Oh, you don't have anybody else to go with. You have to go with a little ghost boy." And which is basically what Yashiro is going to do. Like, I don't even have to.
You're right.
Hananene school festival date.
Ah,
Hananene Mitsuko school festival date.
yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but
Look,
wait,
look.
hold on.
If
This is going
Nene,
to be the first school festival where they actually acknowledge feelings for
I
each
can
other.
just
So they're actually
imagine
going
though,
to be a
like,
couple.
if Nene didn't go with Hanako, he would be so pouty about it, and she
You
must
would.
know that.
Oh,
She wouldn't
absolutely.
not go around with him. She'd be like, he'd give me heck if we didn't.
Right? Especially, yeah, after the whole like confession.
Yeah,
Like,
but they've
come
they've
on.
moved on from that now. They both know that they're their first choice, so
Yeah.
it's going to be
Uh,
cool. And we're going to get a fluff piece because I think we're still in the whole
Please.
fluff. We're still in the whole fluff phase here where
Yeah, we
things
are.
have cooled
We
down.
expect like way darker for this chapter than what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it didn't get dark. I'm glad
Thank
Mitsuba's still
goodness. I'm
here. He
happy.
didn't need to die again. We've
Yeah,
gotten
no,
enough
not
of
again.
that.
Not again.
But I love how the last thing he says in the chapter is just, I'm hungry. And goes
Me too,
like,
Mitsuba.
dot, dot, dot. Like, dude, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Next issue, we plunge into the next school term. I'm so excited.
I
I
We're
know
love
gonna go
it.
it's
back to
actual
the
school term.
school.
And it's like, it's a legit school festival time. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
they've got
Mhm.
something specific planned for that, obviously, because of
It's
the
Yeah,
going to be
setup now.
fun.
And
It
you
is going
can't
to be
not
so
do
fun.
school festivals. Like, you've got to have a big arc
please, just
around the
give me like
school festival.
yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
It's important. It's anime law.
Oh, it's absolutely like, yeah, that's definitely a thing always.
Especially if you got romance in your story. It's
Oh,
law.
Hmm.
absolutely. Especially if it has any romance. Oh my god.
It's
Do you think we're
important.
going to have a Romeo and Juliet thing going on? Oh my god,
Who's
that's
the
like in
Romeo
every
and
anime.
Juliet in this situation? Is
Definitely
it Hana
Aoi and
Nene?
somebody else.
Is it
Aoi.
Mitsuko? Is it the Always? Like,
Aoi and Akane just because he's not going to allow anybody else to be Romeo.
true.
Like,
Oh, he's such a Romeo, isn't he? No,
yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
doing like
I
five
don't know.
other things and being Romeo.
I don't know, cause
God.
like Romeo as a character is really fickle. Like it's his whole thing that when he starts the play, he is pining after a different girl, and then he sees another hot girl and is like, "I'm in love." Oh,
Is that how Romeo and Juliet goes? Oh my god.
I don't
that's
remember Romeo and Juliet,
no,
so
that's not Romeo and Juliet. At the start, he's like, "Oh, Rosalie." I think it's Rosalie or something like that. And he's like, "Oh no, my dearest love, my heart is broken. I'll never recover." And then he goes to this party. He sees this hot 13-year-old girl, and he's like, "Ooh, I want to hit that." And then you just got the whole story after that. That's how
Why?
Romeo and Juliet goes. Guys, Shakespeare was a troll. He made nothing but satires.
mhm.
All his plays were satires. They're really
Yeah.
funny.
Because I'm wondering why is this the pinnacle of romance? Why is this what people always refer to
I don't
when
know.
never romance? What is it? What is that? Ugh.
Un-
I don't yeah, yeah, no idea.
Unfortunately, a lot of people took it seriously, in the same way that a lot of people took Twilight seriously when that came out. I think it's just in that vein. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe I'd have
it's
to watch
packed
Twilight over.
like Romeo and Juliet is at least packaged with a lot of good writing. It was a legitimately well-written play, so
Mhm.
people accidentally not taking it for satire. Oh well.
The
Oh,
thing with Twilight, I think I was a bit too young when it came out, so I didn't know what good romance was. I just know that there was a hot vampire guy and a hot wolf guy. Everybody liked the hot wolf guy, but I like the hot vampire guy.
you
Oh,
say
So
you're
you're Team Edward, got it.
Oh. You
yes.
saying you were too young when that came out, and I'm like, literally everyone who watches our videos for the most part is like at least 6 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but still. I mean, I felt what I felt. That's how
Uh,
that's just how it goes. And does anybody in Gen Z really watch Twilight? Really? Like younger than I am?
yes. Yeah. Everyone's watched Twilight.
So
It's
like
just the
if I
Gen Z
go to
kids
a
have watched it and made fun of it, and the millennials who watched it legitimately because we were all 12. That's the difference.
okay.
I
Okay.
think, but the conclusion to that, going back around to this, the conclusion to that is that Hana Nene is not Romeo and Juliet, Mitsuko is not Romeo and Juliet, and the Aois are not really Romeo and Juliet either.
And that's all good.
And that is all good, pretty
Thank
much.
goodness.
Uh, but yeah, if we have any questions, I don't know, type stuff
Wait, there are
out,
people
and
to ask questions.
I see 3 watching right now.
we have Eleanor here. Eleanor might have a question.
Yeah.
Brandon, do you have a question?
Brandon, ask a question. Do it.
Because you know so much about TBHK.
Yeah.
This is Brandon's our tech support guys, just so you know. And
Tech
Is
support.
he?
he's tech support.
Is he? Is that what he is?
Look, do you remember? You may not remember it. You were pretty drunk. The hour he spent being tech support for you.
Oh,
He
yes,
just says
Vanessa.
no.
He is our tech support. Okay. Yeah, no one should be Romeo and Juliet. You're right.
That's true.
No
But
one.
that's not wow. Yeah, like
No, it was here. Hi.
oh my gosh. We have
Ah, that was a clown fiesta, Brandon said.
yeah, sure was.
Ah,
I think I was drunk for it.
it was a great time. It was a great time.
And yes, I do remember.
Any ideas on what could go down at the school festival? What would you guys want to see at the school festival?
Oh man. I mean,
Um, Definitely some Hananene moments.
Hananene, absolutely, 100%.
I want them to like actually talk about it. I want them to refer
Right?
back to that kiss.
That's going
Like,
to be
it's
like further down, I'm sure.
I think there's still a little like niche area of the fandom that doesn't believe that the kiss really happened because of how
yeah,
it was framed.
there
Ah,
still is. Yeah.
they can, I don't know, they're heathens. They can like
Taking their
go die or
heathens.
something.
That's
They can go die.
yeah, I really
What
need
the heck?
I really need them to talk about it specifically so I can look at like that niche area of the fandom and be like, "Ha, I told you so."
Man, I don't like I don't know if it's people just being in denial or people being like, no, that's too good to be true, or if it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
Do you
Emu,
think
you're
Nene's
right.
going
There's
to
gonna be a
really
lot of good
mature
and a lot
about
of
it?
bad.
Do you think she's going to
Yeah.
be mature about it or immature about it? You know, like she thinks back to it and starts blushing, like her whole face literally turns into an apple
Well, it's
or
her
something.
first kiss, so
Yeah.
yes, all of that is going to happen, but she can still be mature about it
Hmm.
by like actually talking and not freaking out or avoiding the issue. And please, oh please, oh please, don't let it devolve into some sort of misunderstanding.
Oh no, what?
Yeah,
No,
that'd be bad.
no.
I'd be
Not
really
chapter 100
upset.
for God's sakes.
I'd be really upset if she like gaslit herself into thinking it wasn't a big deal.
Forgot they kissed.
Forgot they kissed. I hope not.
Wow.
Yeah, we've gone through the whole severance thing and we finally gotten past that. So they need to get past the whole gaslighting thing as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there has not been a Mitsuko kiss yet, but we are holding our breath for that one. It might
I
happen.
mean, I mean, Ko literally asked him out on a date this chapter, so
Yeah, Ko asked him out.
it's so. I
Okay,
mean,
so the haunted
Possible.
host.
Possible.
So this is there's going to be a haunted host, but why am I thinking? Why am I seeing Sakura and what's his name? Not
Natsu?
not
Natsuhiko.
to. Yeah.
Hiko. Yes. Why am I seeing him and her for that?
I mean, that'd be funny.
It would be funny.
It would definitely be like a like Natsuhiko like acting all confident thing, but then like he's the one who's terrified.
I want Natsuhiko to just
Like
like pop back into the story. Like Sakura's never actually
randomly.
doing anything with the school, right? So I just want
Hmm.
Natsuhiko to be like hanging around the school doing normal student stuff, preparing for the festival, and
Hmm.
just like, jump scaring Ko and Nene by walking past them, being like, "Hey, like everything's normal. Nothing, nothing happened. Just keep going."
Yeah,
Severance? What was that?
maybe he'll make some suspicious comments to Ko, like referring back to the whole when they were sleeping together
So yeah,
type of
When
thing.
always
they were
being
sleeping
sus.
together.
Yeah, he's really sus, so he's going to do that definitely.
They're gonna dangle the Mitsuko carrot in front of us and confirm it in every other way except verbatim. You know what? If they kiss, then they really don't need to say it.
True. Yeah. Just give us a kiss. You don't need to say anything.
Even
Mitsuba's
if it's
pretty tsundere,
accidental.
so there's a chance he never would say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, well, Naruto and Sasuke did kiss, so I
Okay, the
don't
only
know if
reason that wasn't canon is because the lords on high at the company declared it could not be canon. The author wanted it to be. That
serious.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
kiss
I thought I'd heard that
exists
before.
because
Yeah.
the author wanted Naruto and Sasuke to be a thing, and he like
Hmm.
kept trying to sneak it in as a thing, but he couldn't
No,
actually make it canon because the people above him said that he couldn't do it.
that's insane.
That's
That's
oh,
what
that's so
happened.
Why
amazing.
am I just hearing about this?
I have
Yeah,
so much respect for that author.
right? That's
He
Never,
amazing.
he was
never watched
progressive
or
as
read.
like if that was the 1990, what was Naruto made in 1990 something, 1999 I think.
Mhm.
If that
Hmm.
was before the 2000s, and he's talking about this whole Naruto and Sasuke being a thing, that is progressive as fuck.
For that time, it was.
That's awesome.
Alas, so like I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something similar with Mitsuko, just because it's a Square Enix product. Squeenix is Squeenix. It's just how they are. They're a very big
Mm-hmm.
company. They've got really particular tastes in some areas.
Big
So,
companies tend to have those tastes.
yeah, there's a chance that they'll just declare
Not
no.
Disney. Yeah.
No, not Disney.
What?
Let's not talk about Disney. Let's not talk about
Disney. God.
I mean, the chat
Sorry.
seems
My cough is
interested.
so bad.
But
I'm
yeah,
just so sick.
big companies tend to just nix that. They'll say no, they want it to reach a wider audience, and there's certain audiences that they
You
can't
know, it just
reach
doesn't
if they
fit the
let that.
brand.
Oh my
Let's be
god.
honest. Let's be honest. If Naru and Naru Sasu, as Eleanor puts it, was actually a thing, then Naruto wouldn't be as big as it was. I'm sorry. This is how majority of Naruto fans are men, and unfortunately, for some reason, men are scared of romance. Like it's just
Well, if we're
But
talking
Naruto
young
has,
boys, I get it,
like, yeah.
but Naruto's a wide-reaching fan base.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. So yes, that entire discussion boils down to I don't think they're ever going to confirm Mitsuko out loud,
But it's probably definitely supposed to be a thing.
but it's probably
Like,
definitely supposed to be a thing,
yeah.
yeah.
well, headcanons are a thing, so and
Exactly.
fanfictions.
Look, the way I see it, I headcanon all characters as bi or pan unless otherwise stated.
Yes. Yes. Same.
That's how that works.
Hmm. Interesting. Even Teru, although
Sure.
Teru
Oh,
acts like he has
absolutely, Teru. Hello?
Sure.
listen,
What?
listen, Teru acts like he has a stick up his ass like
And?
what, 24 hours a day.
Absolutely. Yes, Eleanor, Mitsuko is real. Nothing can convince me otherwise.
Yes, Mitsuko is absolutely real. Unfortunately, it just
But
doesn't
yes,
fit the brand.
Teru,
So salty.
who is Teru being shipped with?
I may
Maybe
be a little salty.
Akane.
Who is Tara being shipped with? You get Aoi.
Akane.
Aoi and Akane.
Oh yes,
Those
why
are
I
do I
the
don't
think
two
of Akane?
characters
Because
specifically those
shipped
two.
with.
I
Yeah.
like the Akane one just because of how funny it is.
It's hilarious.
It's like my favorite dynamic. I love it when fanfics go into it. Just the two of them. It's so funny. Like it'd be an awful like really
It's so
really awful
toxic.
relationship if it actually happened.
very, very.
But just being able to
No way Teru is straight. So true.
yeah, no way he's straight. Look at
No
him. Look at
way.
that boy.
Like,
Nah.
yeah, no.
Nah, he's got the way he treats Akane is such a sadism streak, like
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This series has a masochist and a sadist confirmed now.
Well, you see, the
Mm-hmm.
like the big brain like thing to like say is that Teru is bi and he has a crush on Aoi and Akane.
Oh, I love that. That's a great fan fiction idea. Let's do it.
It is. Let's do it.
I'm gonna write that story once I have time again.
Oh boy. That sounds like so much fun.
It would be so much fun. If either
And is he
if
like this half? Is he going to do the Romeo thing where he sees Aoi first and then he's like, but Akane though? Is he going to do that?
No, but he goes back and forth on it.
he might go back and
Ah,
forth on it. Maybe he's just like decided that he's gonna get them both. Like he is
No, he's
definitely egotistic enough that at some point he's like, I'm gonna just get the pair.
like gonna romance them both.
Yes.
wait.
Server fanfic project.
Oh my gosh.
Pitching it right now.
Oh my god.
Everybody, we'll give it as a
So,
prompt.
Oh,
The
please.
three-way romance between the two Aois and Teru.
so wait, would that
Teru to
actually be the
2 hours.
first love triangle that actually works? Because if Teru likes them both, and Akane likes Teru and Aoi likes Akane and Teru, that actually works. Like that's a
It does
triangle.
work.
That's what you call a polyamorous relationship.
I love the polyamorous relationship angle.
Yeah.
I definitely want that. We're gonna call it Teru and the Aois.
That's what you call an OT3.
OT3, I like it.
Yeah.
T3.
What, you never heard that term before?
know.
I have not, but I have now, and I will
Really?
always
You
remain.
guys have never heard that term? Oh my god.
I know we're not deep enough in fanfiction circles.
Fandom
Yeah.
or fanfiction circles, clearly.
Hmm.
Haven't seen enough of it. I'm
Definitely
sure
not.
I'm sure there are definitely people who go for like the two Yugis and Nene as,
Oh yeah,
as a thruple.
absolutely.
Oh,
That
That is
wouldn't
something people
surprise me.
do.
That one's weird. Let's
it
our
It
server is
is.
not going to go there.
No.
is. Yeah, because to be honest, I'm sorry, but I used to Sukasa, like, I see him as a little kid, so he's just not mentally mature enough for me, like, to imagine
I
him with
see them all
anybody.
as little kids because they are all little kids.
No,
They
they
are.
are little kids, but this is talking about 5 versus 13, right? That's what I'm talking about. 13-year-olds can, I think 13-year-olds can actually feel love and crush on one another, and that's cute. But
And get horny.
yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, but a 5-year-old, nah.
Nah.
Well, I don't see Sakasa as a 5-year-old, so I guess that's where we differ.
I don't know what I see Tsukasa as.
I
Maybe a
just see
demon,
him as
but
a
like
like a childish like teenager, like young teenager. Because I've met teenagers who are that childish.
it depends.
Not like it's not like they don't exist.
Sometimes he's got more of a teenage vibe, and then sometimes he's the collector.
Yeah, true. Actually, that's a good comparison.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
great
Tsukasa
comparison.
energy.
They're super similar. Just like children who have like way too much power for their own good and just do
Mhm.
whatever with it because it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
energy
but
there. I'm
why
sticking
Yeah.
by
doesn't
that
he
one.
try not being a terrorist? He's
Try not
literally a
being.
terrorist.
Well, if you're a child with like gun powers, what else are you gonna do?
That's the hate, honestly.
Look, a child
You
is
hate
going
that?
to find a lighter and they're going to set something on fire. That's not because they want to murder someone with fire, it's because pretty flame.
Pretty plain fun.
Oh, the flame screams. Wow.
Yeah, they're just discovering things about fire that they didn't know before.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love the type of character so much though.
It is a lot of fun. That's why Tsukasa
So
is so
fun.
much fun. I miss him.
Exactly. I miss him too. Where is he?
It hasn't even been that long since he was last around, but I
Right?
Oh,
miss
thank
him.
you. And you know he's going to show up in the school festival. He has to.
He
He has
better
Mhm.
to.
because we've really kind of established Tsukasa's group as like the main antagonist now. They are the threat. They are
Yeah.
the ones who are like trying to get Nene to
Dead.
destroy all the Yorishiros and end her lifespan. That's their goal. So now
Or at
they
least
are the
frustrate her
antagonists.
somehow.
Tsukasa just
Hmm.
shows up to ruin the Hananene date.
He would too.
Yeah.
He would do it by accident too, because he'd be thinking that he's being supportive. Tsukasa ships them.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely.
Ah,
But wouldn't he like momentarily traumatize Hanako though, and then kind of just ruins the mood?
maybe.
Uh,
Guys, if you have questions, go ahead, type them in the comments.
Ah, yes.
Type them in the chat. Type them in the chat. We're gonna run out of questions to ask each other soon. I don't know, once you get through the ship stuff, what's left? The key?
Nikki!
I just gotta make sure to mention it once. Because
Nikki!
Kathy really believes in the key's potential, so,
Yeah,
I don't.
Kathy super believes in the key's
I
potential.
don't. I'm sorry.
As you can clearly hear, she's saying that she does.
the two of us
Uh,
are very doubtful about it, but Kathy really
Yeah,
believes in it.
mhm.
we don't think it's gonna come back, but Kathy, yeah, she's super sure about it.
Hey, have you guys written any fan fictions with the key yet?
I
Like at this
should.
point,
No,
Oh, I
but
should.
yeah,
we still
yeah.
need to do that brush Shannon and Key Kun,
No,
whatever
oh my
thing.
god. I won't write a fanfiction, but I will draw fan art for that if I have to.
What activities are usually at school festivals? Okay, now I've got to start thinking to different anime. Um,
I mean, they did say, oh, other than the haunted house and the maid cafe.
other than the haunted house. Other than that, well, they have actual food stalls that they do
Yeah.
Hmm.
that they'll set up and whatnot. They'll do plays sometimes depending on which club is doing that. Like
Hmm.
so dramas will do plays. They might have any kind of competition. I remember I remember in Maid Sama, this is an old show, old callback.
Oh, that's so
Mhm.
nice.
They
Anime is
had
so
they had a
great.
whole little contest. It was a couples contest where one class was like, it's like a treasure hunt list of activities, and they had to run around the school and do a bunch of things, and they had to do the whole thing while holding hands. It was super cute. It was a really great idea.
And the kiss
That's
at the
great.
end. Oh.
Did they? Is that when they did? Um,
Yes, they were alone in this
yeah.
whole tree, like this tree area.
Oh,
There
that
was a
sounds
tree.
sweet.
The
Yeah.
Sasamiya Festival had a cross-dressing competition as one of
Oh,
their
of
cute
course it did.
ones. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Art exhibitions, and that's one I haven't really seen before, but yeah, they would do that too. A lot of things
But
could happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, festivals in
Wait,
anime,
soon
it's
I
guys,
kind of
don't
like
think they're just
any
going to
activities
stick
can
to the
happen.
main thing.
backtracking to way back when. Is Nene in the gardening club?
Oh,
I believe
yes.
so.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think
It,
so.
with Aoi, right?
yeah, the two of them are in a club. Wow, I completely forgot about that. They're in the gardening club, I'm pretty sure. So there's a
Yeah.
chance they'll do something with that club. Oh, they could like decorate a greenhouse. Oh, it could be so pretty. Oh, the romantic setup,
The
guys.
romantic setup for Hananene.
It could be so good.
Oh my god. I
Oh, I
hope
would
that
love
happens.
that.
Please.
I want the return of the confession tree, like specifically the little version. Like, I want him to
Yes.
be like in the
I wanna, yes.
greenhouse, like being a backseat driver to different couples.
Oh, that'll be so funny.
That's so great.
That sounds like a good idea for a spin-off chapter, actually.
It would be. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
if the spin-off was still happening.
Yeah, I miss it, but oh well.
Uh, well, it's not canceled, it's just put on hold indefinitely.
That means it might come back. It might come back soon if we're returning to any semblance of more lighthearted school
Oh,
stuff.
true.
I,
True.
I don't really believe it's gonna be lighthearted, but
It could be.
it could be. There's
It
a
could be mostly
chance.
lighthearted.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. We'll
With
see what
it could be
happens.
mostly lighthearted with a oh no at the end of it.
Oh yeah. A big oh no at the end, and then it's gonna
Big oh
lead
no at the
directly
end.
into the next giant thing that's happening, and
Yeah,
then
then the next big problem.
remember remember when we started with the severance and we were like, ah yes, this is endgame. We're not going back to the school. The status quo is never gonna get
Right?
reinstated. Here we are. Status quo changed, but like still mostly solid again.
Yeah, mostly the same.
Mhm.
And we might still be in for a pretty long time.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. We're at 100
I mean,
chapters
yeah,
now,
we're 100
guys.
chapters in.
This is 100 chapters. We don't know what the anime project is gonna be, but like once we find out,
Oh
they've
yeah,
got a lot of
that's
content to work with. A
Oh
lot of
man.
solid content because now they've got like real obvious starting and ending points. They've got
Hmm.
everything up to the end of Picture Perfect for like a long like 20 to 24 episode season 1, and then they've got enough to keep going with the season after that with like the school
True.
sleepover
Yeah.
arc. Like
hmm
they could go for a while. They've got content there. I hope they do.
yeah. And if
Oh, I
only
really
they
hope
would
they
listen
do.
to our podcast, they would know exactly what to do with that content. Like,
Exactly.
thank all
True.
of these
They
people.
should listen to our content.
They really should.
Like I can hope that one of those like 100 to 300 people, depending on the chapter, that check out our stuff is a showrunner that's going to be
Mhm.
a part of that project. Highly unlikely. Odds are very low,
No.
but I can
Yeah.
hope. If you guys are listening, we appreciate you and we believe in you. You can do this.
Yes,
And
Ada
also,
Iris
what the hell is
definitely.
it? What the hell is this even gonna be? Tell
Yeah,
me, I
please
want to
give
know.
us some information.
I
Send
want
me a
information.
shoot me a message in the comments
Yeah,
section. Let
DM
me know.
or something. It's just like, hello, what is this?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Ada
really
Iris
hope they do add in
definitely
the missing
listening.
scenes with the reboot. What they left out
Hmm.
the little young exorcist arc, that like really
Yes.
established Ko and Teru's relationship.
Hmm.
Like I wasn't missing it intently in the show itself, especially because when I watched the show, I didn't know it existed because I watched the show before I read the manga.
Hmm.
So like when I went back and read the manga, I was like, it's kind of unfortunate, but like I don't really feel like I like like you felt that in the anime per se, just because of what the
Yeah.
anime covered.
It was
But
just
yeah.
yeah, it was just kind of sad that we didn't get that like Ko and Hanako like bonding
Yeah,
because that was really really nice.
that was really nice. I think if they did keep going beyond that, especially going into like the picture perfect arc and everything beyond, it is important to have that stuff because it really does it establishes Ko's relationship with Hanako and where he stands on
Yeah.
that, and it establishes
Mhm.
his relationship with his brother. And both of those things become a lot more important later. So yeah,
Yeah.
if they are redoing the anime from scratch, I really, really hope that they're going to have that in there. I feel it's important. But, I don't get to work on this project. I have no say. I am a podcaster. I have no power.
Yes, guys, but I do actually believe that either ear is sitting down front of the computer right now, listening to the podcast live, as they do every week, every month,
Ah,
and
yes.
they have their Japanese to English translator right beside them, um,
Oh my god.
making sure that they hit every single word.
Are they running us through Google Translate?
There we go.
In that case, I'm kind of worried about what they're getting.
Right? I'm scared. If something crazy happens, blame that.
Oh my gosh. What's Google saying that we're saying? I'm worried. I don't trust Google.
No, yeah. It shouldn't be trusted.
Oh yeah, clock keepers. Obviously, we were robbed of clock keepers. I think
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
the reason I the reason I skim over that is because my belief was always that if they did a season 2, they would go back and cover the clock keepers. It's like they
Well,
would
they would have
just have
to.
rearranged
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because they have to in order to continue with the story content. But
Mhm.
yeah, like it'd be really nice to have the clock keepers in where it's supposed to be in the story
Yeah, that
and
would make
have
it
it
make a lot more sense and be better.
it would just flow better. It flows
Yeah.
better. I think the one thing in the anime that like really didn't flow anywhere near as nicely because of how it was rearranged was the whole Little Mermaid arc. Um
Yeah.
it bothered me that they held off on Hanako talking with Nene longer than when he actually did, because in the
Mhm.
manga it's like same chapter. Like he goes, he's withdrawn for a while. Nene goes off and she doesn't like it, and then he apologizes for what happened with the donuts, and that's pretty much immediately. But in the show, I think it's like 2 episodes later, and he calls back to it. And I'm like, I didn't like that as much. I really wish they'd kept that apology where it was because it felt nice that he was owning up that quickly, that all he needed was to
Hmm.
calm down and think a little bit. And he was like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like,
It was unfortunate. And Little Mermaid was the last episode of the show, right?
it was, so yeah, they ended
Yeah.
on that, which was a really cute way to end it.
It
But
was yeah.
Yeah.
I
again,
get why I did it, but
I
yeah.
know why they did it. I understand it was still very cute, but like, I do prefer where it sits in the manga, where it's intended to be in the story.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's gonna flow better. Ida wrote it that way. It was written to be there. Like
Yeah, I guess we can just come to the conclusion that they didn't plan to. They weren't planning for season two.
they
I
didn't have a
think,
season 2 planned. Like they didn't have it
No.
greenlit. They didn't know if it was
Mhm.
gonna happen.
yeah, and I think it got a whole Promise Neverland treatment, kind of like a slight Promise Neverland treatment.
Look, I don't want to think about the Promised Neverland. I try not to think about that. That didn't
We do not
happen.
say it's the same.
What a wonderful season 1 that show had. If only it had a season 2.
The
What a
yeah.
tragedy that it never had a season 2. And it never will.
How unfortunate.
How unfortunate that I only have the manga to read when I want to read it. I guess I will have to settle with what the author intended.
Uh,
It's not even like I was a huge Die Hard fan. I think I just got hit with like I don't know, like rage osmosis from the rest of the fandom. It
I
just
I was
seeped
a
into
hardcore
me.
fan, but I couldn't leave the anime alone. Like when the anime ended off at season one, I had to go straight into the manga. It was too good, and I'm glad I did. Like extremely glad I did,
I just
because I
stick
don't know
with the
what that
manga.
was.
Let's sit back because I've never read or watched The Promised Neverland.
That is not your style. Promise Neverland is
No, it's
outside your
not.
area.
I know it's not. That's why I haven't read or
Yeah.
watched it.
It's got one ship and it's never explored very well.
Awesome.
So yeah, no on that one. We are not watching The Promised Neverland together.
No.
That's not
Yeah, no,
happening. No.
yeah, no, especially like even if I did consume it, I'd want to read it because of just everything I've heard about the second season.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even want to be tempted to watch that.
No. I mean, it's interesting to watch clips from it just to see how it messed up,
Oh yeah, I've seen clips from it, absolutely.
but that's it. That's it. Never go
Mhm.
beyond that. I'm warning you all off from it right now, guys. The Promised Neverland only has a season 1 and a manga. Anything beyond that is just it's a fever dream. It didn't actually happen. It's like a nightmare. You know, when someone like has a really bad trip, like they've OD'd on drugs and they're having a terrible trip, that's what that rest of that content was.
So, moral of the story is watch season 1, don't watch season 2, read the manga.
And don't do drugs, I guess.
And don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids.
But anyways, predictions for the next chapter, guys.
Predictions for the next
The
chapter.
school festival.
Well, the school
They said
festival, it says the new school term starts.
The new school term
Next.
starts.
So,
I want Hananene. I
Hananene.
need Hananene.
We got our like Mitsuko stuff. Now we should get some Hananene stuff, right?
We literally didn't get anything. Like they came back for like 5 seconds, and Ko strung up Hanako being like penance.
Oh yeah. They had
But
some cute they had some cute like background stuff. Like I
yeah,
still
they had
remember
cute little.
the little ribbon thing was really cute.
Yeah, that was so cute, but it was just background
adorable.
stuff. Like we didn't
Yeah,
get to see them really talking about anything that happened. So I really want that. That's what I'm gonna hope the next chapter is about.
Oh yeah, please. They need to address it.
Hmm So yeah,
And
Hananene chapter, my bet. Throwing that down onto the ground.
yes, I'm betting on that too.
Bracing
I'm
myself to be slapped in the
going
face with
back.
angst. I am also prepared for that.
I'm going back and reading chapter 96 and just look at how cute they are in the background. Oh, he's putting a little ribbon on her head.
But yeah, I'm expecting something will go horribly wrong in this school festival,
Oh,
whatever it is.
absolutely. We're gonna get some fluff and then boom.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Is
I'm
it
missing
horribly,
Hanako
horribly
too.
wrong or just horribly wrong? Like, is it horribly wrong, like this whole aquarium thing, although you know that they're eventually going to overcome it, or horribly, horribly wrong where it's actually like plot changing
I'm
or
thinking
something?
like horribly wrong, like Red House levels. Like maybe not Severance level of manga altering course stuff, but like plot revealing stuff. Like you're going to advance stories, you're going to advance character arcs, people are going to be challenged, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want
Okay.
I want Hanako background. I want to know.
Yes. Please, something. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We've gotten so close to finding out what
I know you
happened.
I know that they can't give us like the whole story so soon right now probably, but just a little bit.
I don't know.
Give me
I
a
have
little
no idea
another.
how close we are to the end.
I feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel like we are. It really doesn't.
It doesn't anymore. It did for a while and
It
now it
did,
doesn't, but
and yeah, now it really doesn't. Feels
but
like there's
yeah,
too much to do still.
I'm still gonna pray. Yugi backstory. I was praying throughout the entire Severance arc for it. I'm still going to pray for it. I'm just like, eventually I'm gonna be right,
Yeah,
okay?
eventually. One day. Someday.
Eventually. If you stick to your guns, then eventually you're right.
Just like we'll be right about the key eventually.
Exactly. Just stick with your guns. One day, we will be right about the key after
And
I
maybe
write
it'll
my
be
key
both at the same
fanfiction.
time.
Yes. I hope so.
Yugi backstory plus key.
Gabby
Yugi's
just
key
in the
is intertwined
background.
with Yugi
Mm-hmm,
backstory.
all
And then they're going to give us a backstory and the key too.
it's the key to the backstory. That's
It's
what the
the
key is.
Yeah, the key is the key to Yugi's backstory. Yes.
Exactly. So we need both.
Please,
And
guys.
yes, broadcasting club lore, we also need more of that. We need more about Sakura. They kind of dropped the bomb on us that she's God, apparently, and I would like to
Yeah,
know
right.
more.
And they just no elaboration.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she's God.
she's God. That's how that
All right,
works.
bye. Bye. Have some Mitsuko.
So yeah, I mean, thanks for the Mitsuko.
Yeah,
It was
like
a good
thanks, but
meal.
like thanks, but what? Can
Yeah.
you repeat?
uh, head reeling. I hope they give us time to
Uh,
process everything.
right? Oh my goodness.
uh, all right, but I think that basically covers everything we've got to talk about. We're at
Yeah,
an
it's
hour
almost been an
now.
hour. Yeah.
We
Um,
somehow managed still get still got 10 hours
I
somehow.
knew we'd do it,
We always get to an hour.
even though this chapter had like not that much to talk about in terms of content. As long as we
It's
stick
just
to our guns and talking about ships and the key for a little while, we'll
yes.
eventually find things to talk
We
about
have a
for an hour.
formula. We stick to it. And
So yeah,
it's a formula that always reaches an hour, yeah.
yeah, we know how to talk for a while. So the
Mhm.
next issue, the May issue, is back to the 18th. Thank goodness.
Normal schedule.
Normal schedule, so maybe I won't forget it next time.
Hopefully, yeah.
Uh, the April 18th. Yeah, it's always weird. May issue in April 18th.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's
Let me
always
mark
yeah.
that date because that's my brother's birthday. So
That's your
one
brother's
second.
birthday? Okay. Happy birthday to him, I suppose.
Like I just shook a while ago when you said April 18th. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, don't forget about that maybe. Yeah, my niece's birthday is late April, but I'm not going to be around for that. So, whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next time, sometime around that date. Probably a
Hmm.
Saturday again. It seems like Saturdays are working for us.
Oh yeah.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Yes,
Hmm.
thank you.